Good morning, Nature School. Mr. Mike, and this week we're going to do some investigations, and that is into the Grassman. So we've been getting videos and some reports from people around the parks that along the bay properties they've seen a Grassman or some type of being that's big and hairy. Now, I'm a skeptic because I don't believe in Bigfoot or Sasquatch or things like that. So what I wanted to do was get out with you guys and investigate and see what we could find. Now, truthfully, some of these videos and things that I've been seeing are pretty convincing and could maybe make you change your mind. But you can't go off of just a video. You actually have to get out and look for yourselves or do some research. In this case, that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to look for clues together in this video, and then you guys are going to have to go back and do some investigation of your own, finding resources and things that might make these things seem more possible. Now, hopefully we'll be able to crack this case, and hopefully you guys will be able to help me. All right? Are we ready? Let's get to looking. So, in this first video, somebody supposedly saw some type of being. It could have been a person just walking, but they were back the trail about 20 to 40 yards, somewhere in between that area, behind the camera here, and just about where this little sawhorse is. They said they saw something pop up and then shoot back down into the grass. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this video real quick. After watching that video, what do you think it was? It could have been anything. It could have been some type of animal. It could have been a person just taking a casual walk. It could have been a hunter that was looking for a duck he shot. It could have been a variety of different things. Now, truthfully, what we're going to do is we're going to do some more investigations. We're going to get down and look around this area for maybe some footprints, some pushed down grass, maybe some animal scat that might help us, point us in the right direction to what this thing might be. Because we don't want people walking through the parks afraid and scared and concerned about what might be here. We want everyone to feel safe. And we want everyone to be informed about what's truly here. Some tools that you guys might need while you're out, if you're looking on your own, maybe in your backyard, to see what animals or things might be there. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to record all the information we're finding on our phone. We're going to be taking pictures, and we're also going to have our binoculars just in case we see something out in the distance that's moving around. And it's always good to take your binoculars for birds and other wildlife that you might come across. So let's get to work, Nature School. So we found some tracks, mostly deer tracks and things like that, which we'll show you. Maybe some coyote, some raccoon tracks as well here at Eagle Point. But I have managed to find one that's a little bit confusing to me, and looks like it could be the making of something, but we're going to have to do a further investigation here. All right, Nature School. So here we have some deer tracks. You can see that front hoof, and a little bit of the back here. Mostly deer tracks that travel through here, as you can see right back there. But one track that I did come across that was a little bit strange was this one right here. And if you look really, really close here, this looks like a big toe, 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 and it kind of sits back into here. Now, I think this is nothing, but I'll let you guys be the judge. All right, Nature School. This one looks a little suspect too. You can see these leaves are all pressed down. You can see that big toe right here, and then another toe. But this one looks a little bit shakier than the last. So we'll keep looking. Here's that sawhorse that we supposedly saw behind there, from back there. What I'm seeing here is some animal scat. That's probably raccoon scat. Much too small to be an animal that big. That's some type of seeds and things that are in there. All right, let's get out here right here is supposedly where that thing tucked behind and tucked down. As you can see right here, some of that grass is pushed down. Oh, and look back there. All that's kind of laying down. But the thing about that is deer can do that too. Deer usually tend to bed down at nighttime in tall grass. They tend to kind of seek refuge in places like this. And that's exactly what it looks like had happened here, where some deer were pressed down and laying in here to kind of make it through the cold or the evening time there. But I feel like if it was something that large, it would have made a much, much bigger path going through here. All right, nature school. This one right here, you can see the toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, that's pretty impressive. The other two I was not convinced on. We have a few raccoon tracks right here, which probably explains the raccoon poop. But this is a little bit strange for me. So we'll keep doing some more investigating here, and then we'll move on to another park. But that right there is probably the most convincing foot I've seen. Most convincing clue so far, even more than that that video we saw. All right, nature school, we're here at Wyandotte Metro Park, and let's observe some pictures that are not ones from the park of people claiming they've seen Grassman or Sasquatch. All right, so take a look at this first one. Now this one is a pretty blurry picture, and when we're looking at it, we probably think that could be just a regular person walking around, which it absolutely could be. That's why we, as scientists and as fact checkers, need to make sure that the things that we're finding are accurate and true. So a big part of that is doing some research and looking and trying to find a way to connect the dots. So when we're looking at some of these other pictures, like this next one here, this one is a little bit more, could easily fall into the more of a Sasquatch looking picture. Now, that doesn't look like the video we saw from Eagle Point, so we could probably rule that out. What we saw from that video at Eagle Point was, whatever that thing was, it was about average height, and we didn't see it for very long. It was a very short clip. Now those footprints did seem a little suspicious in terms of why would somebody be walking around in late October barefoot? It just doesn't make sense. So somebody could have lost their boot and stepped in the mud. There's a variety of different things. We have to use our brains to actually think outside the box instead of immediately blaming Grassman or Sasquatch, who may not even exist. Okay, so we're over here at the Barnes Extension, and there's no video for this park, but supposedly someone had seen a Grassman or big hairy being of some sort out here on this edge of this peninsula right here. And supposedly that was drinking out of the water. Now, one thing we know, there's a couple killdeer kind of kicking around out there. That's pretty cool. You see those little guys right there? Humans wouldn't drink out of the water, but that doesn't mean that they were drinking out of the water. They might have been cleaning off their hands, looking for something. A lot of what we see out here, as I mentioned to you guys before, our county has a lot of duck hunters in it, and sometimes they may get lost, or they may be somewhere they don't belong, and you could have easily spotted a duck hunter trying to clean some stuff up or just clean off his muddy hands. So it's time to do some investigating around this area. All right, Nature School. As we do a preliminary scan of below the deck here where this thing has been supposedly seen, I don't really see anything. It has been raining the last few days, but I'm not really seeing a lot of footprints. Ooh, there we go. It's maybe a coyote or a dog of some sort. Seen a lot of heron. So here are some heron tracks right here. We know they're great blue heron tracks because I watched him walk around when I first walked up here for a minute and then fly away. There's also a lot of scat and feathers from gulls and different things. A lot of goose scat and other bird scat kind of scattered about. And some small birds too. Probably the killdeer we had mentioned a little bit. But I'm not seeing any other tracks. There are my tracks right there. Oh, here we go. There's some of those little tiny killdeer tracks right there. Some bird scat. Lots of bird scat. Here's probably from a bald eagle potentially. So we're not really finding much at this location, which isn't a... All right, Nature School, right here we have some scat. Now that scat is pretty small. I'm back out there. I scooted in too quick. That scat is about the size of my thumb. So we can assume that that scat either belongs to some type of mink or weasel, as we can see what maybe looks like some feathers or some hair in there, and they have a nice little twisty little amount of scat there. So much too small to be the thing we saw in that video. So investigating not just tracks of animals that might be in that area, but also scat markings and deer rubs, for example. All of these things are important because they can be easily mistaken for things that might scare people. Nature School, based off of the clues we have right now, and trust me, we are not done, I'm gonna say that I have a good theory on what this could be. And I don't think it's a grassman at all. So what we'll do is we will investigate a little more, and then after this video is complete, I will share with you guys what I think it is and what I'm almost confident that it is, and then you guys can tell me what you think potentially has been seen in the parks. All right? Okay, Nature School, we're back here at Osborne Metro Park, and we're in my office, and we're going over some of the clues that we found that are going to help point us in the right direction and make a true consensus of what this thing might have been that people are seeing in the park. So first, I want to show you the two parks that we were located at on a map and show you where the grassman was potentially seen. Right here is Eagle Point Metro Park, and we were all the way in the back of the park close to the water, and supposedly grassman or Bigfoot was seen right here where that arrow is pointing, right around that sawhorse that we saw where we saw that video. Now, I did come across something else when I went back there a few days later. I did a little bit more of a preliminary scan, and I got a little bit closer, and I wasn't carrying a camera, and I was able to find this. And what this is you're thinking, oh, it's grass or yarn. But no, actually, after closer examination, I realized that these are part of someone's called a ghillie suit. Take a look right here. And these ghillie suits are used for hunters and fishers and sometimes even photographers. And we have a lot of those things right here in Erie County. So that could easily be what we found. But we're not quite sure yet. And like I said, I'm not going to give you my answer in this video. You guys are going to have to watch, make your own mind up, and then I'll give you the answer later. Oh, the second park that we were at was Wyandotte Metro Park, which was about 2.5 miles from the first park we were at. So for this thing to travel from one park to another is not impossible. But we were all the way out here, right up on the water. Remember, we could see out into the water from the observation deck, and we really didn't find anything. All we found out there was some animal scat, birds, the mink scat, and a variety of different other things. Now, the picture we have up here, remember this was the one that we showed you that was from Salt Fork State Park. This could easily be somebody walking in a hunting suit or whatever. But the one thing that we did find that was really, really suspicious were these footprints. Now, these footprints kind of made me think a lot, because this first one here, if you remember, I would say we could X this one out. This second one right here looked very similar to a foot. And the only way that that could happen, being as chilly and as cool as it is outside, is if somebody got their boot stuck in the mud. But we didn't find a boot stuck in the mud or anything. We also didn't look very heavily for anything like that. So hopefully you guys can use these clues to help you search and investigate a little bit more into what you think might have been out there. So what I've been doing for the last few days is searching and trying to find a lot of research that could potentially give us a DNA sample or something like that that would point us in the right direction of a Bigfoot. So far, everything I've found have been shaky videos, kind of like the one we saw, questionable photos that might be photoshopped or someone in a costume, like these ones seen here, or kind of people with very vague descriptions of what they saw as a Bigfoot or a Grassman. I also came across something very, very interesting, and I want to share that with you. So right here, DNA analysis indicates that Bigfoot may be a big fake. So you're probably wondering, Mr. Mike, what does this tell us? Well, from what the scientists have observed, they collected hair samples that people believe to be Bigfoot hair samples or Grassman hair samples. What they did was they put them underneath a microscope, and they also did a DNA test, and they came up with chances are that this could have been one of two things, either a species of dog or a species of bear. Now, when you think of how big bears can be, that makes complete sense. Bears, when up on two legs, are as big as humans are, if not larger. Very wide and big, and can be very intimidating to people and often scare them off. A dog, dogs don't stand up on their hind legs unless they're perched up against a tree or something like that. So for it to be that would be a very large dog, like a wolf or something. Very interesting news and very interesting investigation that we've done so far. A few of the other ones that I came across were hair samples that were too old or too beaten down or too withered for them to do a sample of. So far, I have found no evidence for Bigfoot and no evidence for Grassman, with the exception of the pictures and the videos. Now, like I said, if these were a clear, concise video or picture of a Bigfoot, maybe we could make a better decision on what this might be. But remember, I'm pretty sure I know what this is based off of the footprints, the ghillie suit pieces that we found, and the location of where these things were supposedly seen. All right, Nature School, now it's your turn to get out and look for some information and see what you guys can find that'll help point you in the right direction for what you think it is. And after you're done watching this video and a few days have passed, I'm going to share with you guys what I'm almost confident that that thing was that someone saw in the park. All right? Sound good? All right, Nature School, pound it. Happy researching.